Now today we're going to be talking about Itoshi Sae and the beauty of calculation. Now Itoshi Sae is quite the character, as we have seen him plenty of times so far now in bluelock. He's as cold and calculating as they come, and I think this is why he is such a loved character. Being cold and calculated, Sae is not very friendly or warm to people. This is shown when we first meet him, and he has no interest in talking to people that often, and does not care for Japanese football. Every word that comes out of his mouth is very little, and he wastes no time when he speaks, and is very blunt and straight to the point. He knows what to say before saying it and can generate curiosity when he enters a room. Sae can also concentrate on things very well. The beauty of calculation comes from being analytical and focused. Sae can find the best gaps to pass the ball to and can even find short paths to disrupt an opponent's offense. He has shown times of just how well skilled he is, and it was hinted that he could possibly have metavision as well. Cold calculating people tend to have high IQs, however their brilliant mind doesn't go hand in hand with kindness or in seeking the welfare of others. As a matter of fact, their behavior is purely instrumental. Whatever they do, either directly or indirectly, is in the pursuit of personal gain. Being calculated is something you cannot change, and it is a personality trait that is in you or not in you. To be able to see through every move and find the best path, Sae has a football style that allows him to destroy things beautifully. He has an amazing pass style and is very smooth and flowing whenever he has the ball. I like how Itoshi Sae's aura is numbers. This shows his analytical mindset. He even can remember the amount of times he could have scored a goal and just how many times the goal was open to score for someone else as well. Sae has a huge analytical mind, and I'm sure it helped him when he was a striker as a kid. He doesn't let anything distract him, and his dream is to become the world's best midfielder. When he was a child, he even puts off reporters because he does what he wants. This showcases his focus, as he doesn't care too much about the trophies or status of winning. He does things his way and does not allow any background noise to get to him. To be calculating, you have to know what you want, how you do it, and then stick to it. Sae has always had football as first priority in his life, even over his family. His greed for becoming the best in the world is on another level, and this is why he stays cold and calculating. Sae is a very quiet person as well, as he does not overspeak or get everyone's attention. He is constantly observing everything and everyone around him, paying attention to the little details that an average person cannot see. He only talks when necessary and has not shown much emotion. He stays calm and composed in all aspects and has no time for silly games. Sae is really smart at all, and it shows in his eyes as well, as he is simply someone whose only goal is to win. He has a serious look in his face all the time, and his eyes are what stand out a lot. Calculating and emotionally cold people possess a unique and dangerous virtue. They're extremely intelligent, but their genius is oriented towards manipulation, selfishness, and the instrumentalization of others. Calculating people need a fixed routine. They're methodical people and tend to do the same things every day. They take care of their schedules and their habits. They don't like the unexpected, and they'll rarely break from their routine for anyone. Sae's morning routine consists of opening the window to let in fresh air, taking a deep breath, morning yoga, meditation, drinking salted kombucha, and starting his day. Sae is a very unfriendly person and tends to look down on others. He can see right through people and can notice the emotions of others and determine how they will act. With his calculation skills, he is often listening and looking around rather than talking. From his egoist character Bible, he thinks his biggest weakness is that he doesn't know anything else other than football. He's only ever cared about becoming the best in the world and has only had time for that goal, so it makes sense why he has no time to hang out with friends or even make friends. Calculating people will perceive themselves as having better skills than most. However, this isn't something they express openly. They're far more discreet. Nevertheless, this attitude can often be sensed in the way they speak to others and the subtle content they often show for some colleagues or even their own partners. You can find cold and calculating people in any social setting. They always have a very clear purpose. That's to obtain benefits, goals, achievements, and positions of power. In fact, they view other people as simple variables in this particular equation. Furthermore, they don't hesitate to use deception and manipulation strategies, often leaving many victims in their wake. Cold and calculating people don't place their trust in anyone. What's more, they're suspicious of everything around them and are always alert. Indeed, they take it for granted that others are like them, and at the very least they'll betray them for a greater goal. It's common for this personality profile to not have had good emotional support in their childhood. This has made them grow up without needing anything from anyone. In fact, they don't know or don't want to strengthen ties with other people, and if they do it solely for their own interests. Effective detachment is a constant in their lives, and they rarely maintain partners and friends. Sae can be very arrogant, yet he still knows to stay in his role as a midfielder and a key passer, and doesn't necessarily try to outshine others. He will get the job done no matter what to win, if others cannot do it for him. He gave the under-24s plenty of chances to try and score, and only after they failed multiple times he decides to score himself. He does not like the fact that he was born in Japan and says that he was born in the wrong country. He despises everything about Japan, but stays in Japan to see what bluelock is capable of. Sae can also just do what he wants all the time. He ends up preparing to leave the under 20 match and go home because of the bet he made with Aiku to see what he could bring about to the under 20 team without Shido. He knew before the match even started that he did not like any of the fours in under 20 and wanted Shido to join the team in advance, as he knew he could be the one to bring out his full potential. He was calculating all of the outcomes before the game even started and knew that it would not work with the current under 20 team. He notices how different Blue Lock is compared to them, and the world they see is different. They win by scoring goals, whereas the under 20 team is a more defensive team. He tells the under 20 team that this is the result of finding it their way. He's saying that if they had took Sae's initiative, it would have went differently. Everything was too defective for him to use. He was only there anyway to observe Blue Lock, and he saw what he needed and was ready to leave immediately. This shows how much he did not care about the match and was ready to leave at any point due to the team not listening to his request of utilizing Shido at first. It wasn't until they activated Shido that Sae would end up joining the game again to become the game's headliner. Now, Sae's relationship with Rin has been a very complex one. Sae cherished Rin when they were young, and he even shared a dream with Rin to become the best strikers in the world together. Sae noticed just how special Rin could be, and he knew it since he was a child. After changing his dream to becoming a midfielder, he is now very cold to Rin and does not give him any time of day. He can be calculating towards his own brother if he does not see him using his full potential. I think Sae knows Rin's potential to becoming the best striker in the world is achievable, whereas Sae's is not. He does not want Rin to follow in his footsteps because he needs his own path to become the best in the world. This is why Blue Lock was so interesting to him. He admitted he was wrong about Japan not having strikers and only said Asagi at that time, but I think he lies here as well and counts Rin and Shido as part of the group. Sae didn't want to crush Rin at first, but because of the words Rin said to him, he had no choice but to showcase his ego and prove to him that he cannot defeat him currently, even if Sae is a midfielder now. He was watching everything of Rin to see where he could go, and he knows that as long as Rin focuses on still being Itoshi Sae's little brother, he will never be able to become the world's best striker. He's putting this notion on Rin to be his own person and follow his instincts just like he did as a kid. Rin was able to go into flow in the under 20 match and bring back his original ego, and this is what Sae wanted. He was even able to stop Sae on the last pass, resulting in Asagi to score the game-winning goal. These two have quite the history, and it goes to show how Sae has been calculating his plan since the beginning. Now, as for Sae changing into a midfielder, this must have been from something only he has seen in this world. He talks about the world being bigger than you think, and that's why he decided to change. He is a very calculated person and knows his skills, so in his head, he knew that becoming the best in the world and midfielder would be accomplishable for him. He still has high regards for his skills, and he must have had some huge competition to make him step down as a striker. Sae knows his limitations and decided to work on skills that he knows himself he could polish to the best. That's why now his dream is to make passes for the best striker in the world. He wants Rin to become that striker for him just like once before. He's always planning ahead, looking into the future to see if something will change. He did not care about Japanese football at all until he seen the news about Blue Lock and then decided to stay. He wanted to test them with his own eyes to see if Japanese football could really change. He truly does want a striker in Japan who can receive his passes to win the World Cup. This is why I think Sae will eventually join Japan in the Under 20 World Cup with Blue Lock to bring out the best striker in the world there. He has observed everyone in the game, so I know he has a good amount of info on who could very well receive his passes. His calm and cool demeanor will be essential in higher matches, and Blue Lock needs someone like him giving out passes with full instinct and speed. Sae is a generational player who makes players around him better. He can command an offense and defense and turn into a striker whenever he wants. He has the right purpose and skill set, and I have no doubt that he joins the Under 20 Japan team for the World Cup. Now, Sae linking up with Shido seemed completely random at first. Shido only played by his own rules and was very difficult to work with as he did his own thing. However, despite that, he was one of the best players in Blue Lock and was electric on the field. No one in Blue Lock could handle Shido and connect with him, but Sae could. I think Sae knew exactly how to handle Shido. He was able to bring out Shido's instincts to the max and allowed him to enter flow. He even gave Shido tips during the game when scoring, and he knew that Shido could come up with something. Shido is the perfect example of a striker that Sae likes to connect with. Someone who doesn't play by the rules and does his own thing, who completely disregards every other player in the field and lives for his own sake. We've seen this many a times in Blue Lock, but Shido captivates it the best. Just imagine how crazy it could have been had Sae picked Rin or Baro to join the Under 20 team instead. These would have been crazy chemical reactions as well. Sae knew that no one could handle Shido, so he took on the challenge to be able to link with him. He knew he could take on what felt like an impossible task and keep up with Shido's movements, allowing him to excel in the field. This is an ultimate duo, but they still eventually lost in the Under 20 match. Sae was able to make split-second judgments and thread the needle in places where the opponents could not get the ball. He continued to challenge Shido with his passes to see how far he can go, and Shido surpassed those challenges, allowing a super goal to be born. Overall, we have seen many aspects of calculation from Sae as he displays a calm, cold amount of confidence in himself. For him to be so analytical and calculating actually works well for a midfielder. He can make reads like no other and has the mentality of a winner. He just needs someone around him with the right instincts and speed to react to his passes. He will continue to challenge everyone he meets and see their skills, as he wants the best to be around him. Sae is a very enjoyable character to see, and I hope we get more on his backstory about why he decided to become a midfielder. With bluelock still in the NEL, we have not seen Sae since the under 20 match. I don't know what he's doing currently, but the World Cup will start eventually and Japan will need him to be there to have a chance of winning. Sae's given name Sae even means skillfulness, and his surname Itoshi means threadmaster, so his name can be interpreted as a skillful threadmaster. This makes perfect sense as he makes thread passes like a needle in a haystack. We have not seen anyone else yet in bluelock to be able to make passes as good as Sae, the closest one being Hiyori. The beauty of calculation is special, and we have seen many people like this in our lives. I'm sure you will see more and more as well too. Well, I thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back in the next one. Peace.